Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Keller Williams, Jamaica hails Rui March after sudden passing. Keller Williams, Jamaica, has hailed the work of Regional Operating Principal Rui March, who died suddenly in hospital. Since 2017, March and his team have become the largest Keller Williams office in the English-speaking Caribbean. His delivering of service with pride has ensured that Ruiz has secured the business of buyers and sellers, ranking from small to unbelievable large transactions, said a spokesperson of the real estate outlet in a statement. Keller Williams Jamaica also described Williams as a true visionary and a firm believer in the mission to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, expenses worth giving, and legacy worth leaving. March is survived by his wife of 16 years, Janine, and his 4 children. Popular soca singer Blacks dies from COVID-19 complications. Popular soca singer Dexter Stewart, better known as Blacks, died at the intensive care unit of the Arima Hospital in Trinidad yesterday after contracting COVID-19, his manager has confirmed. The All-Stars, of which he was the lead singer, issued a statement saying his family, along with the management and members of the band, the All-Stars, regretted having to announce his untimely passing. May his voice be heard among the angels, it said. The 61-year-old has been hospitalized since March 4. In 2020, Blacks was hospitalized with lung and kidney issues. Fans had taken to social media, playing some of his tunes, including his 2018 hit Hulk. They had also been sending prayers for the singer's recovery. Trinidad and Tobago has registered 3,734 deaths and 137,000 infections from COVID-19 since March 2020. Clarendon cops draw for all weapon in crime fight prior. Corporal Conrad Martin was inside his office at the Mapen police station when another cop alerted him to a young man who wanted to talk with a counselor. Martin, a peer counselor assigned to the Clarendon Police Division, is one of the prior warrior cops who meet virtually every week to seek divine intervention in the Mid-Island parish that has been overrun by violent criminals who have left a trail of blood and tears in their wake. The young man was carrying a bag when he entered the station, recounted Martin, who is also an assistant pastor of the Penwell Full Gospel Pentecostal Church in Crossroads, St. Andrew. Before the respected police corporal could introduce himself, his visitor already knew who he was. He mentioned the weekly prayer and fasting and said another friend told him about it and that he was fascinated to see police pray, Martin reported in a recent interview. Moments later, he said the man broke down in tears as he reached into the bag and pulled out a .38 pistol he wanted to turn over to the police. Martin, who has been a peer counselor in Clarendon for 9 years, revealed that tears filled his eyes as he consoled and prayed with the weeping young man. He said, "Mr. Martin, I can point you to a place where you can find a lot more guns," the cop said, confirming that police investigators subsequently seized a large cache of guns and ammunition in a series of operations. It is just one of several indicators that have cops in the Police Era 3 section, which comprises Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth, believing that the combination of divine intervention and sound policing strategies has proven to be a winning formula across the tri-parish region. The convergence of Christian crusaders and anti-crime campaigners is not unfamiliar in the deeply religious heartland of Jamaica, where the pulse of Bible thumping beats just as hard as that of a flint-faced gunman in gang enclaves. And no one perhaps embodies hard policing and religious crusading more than lay preacher and Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey, who hems the crime portfolio. Martin declined to discuss the case in detail, citing security concerns, but believes that hearts and minds in hotspot communities, mainly in Clarendon, but also in the wider region, are being transformed. You have Clarendon communities like Canaanites, Farm, Effortville, Savannah Heights, Bucknell, We pray and we ask God to intervene, and we have seen changes, he asserted. 11 murders were recorded in Clarendon between January 1 and March 20 this year, a 50% year-on-year decline, according to police statistics. Shooting also declined by 47.1% from 17 to 9. St. Elizabeth recorded 8 homicides, one more than the 7 registered for the period in 2021. Shootings in the parish were on par with the 4 carried out for the first 79 days in 2021. Manchester had 10 murders, 66.7% more than the 6 recorded up to March 20 a year ago. Shootings were also on the rise by 140% year-on-year, jumping from 5 in 2021 to 12 this year. Nationally, Jamaica recorded 320 murders between January and March 20, the police have reported. This is 5% lower than the comparative period last year. Assistant Commissioner Michael Simmet, the Area 3 commander who instituted the weekly lunch hour prayer sessions, is convinced that spiritual intervention can help to stem the wave of violence. Faith and works is a winning combination for anything, said Simmet, a devoted Christian and lay preacher. We use a faith-based approach while we carry out our responsibilities to meet the strategic objectives of the organization, he said, referring to the Jamaica Constabulary Force. It is an approach Simmet wants to see replicated throughout the force. Once the human mind and emotion is affected in a spiritual way, then you will have transformation, he reasoned. The marginal reprise in killing, primarily across Clarendon, is a far cry from the bloodletting and mayhem that greeted Simmet in March 2020 when he took the reins as the top cop in Area 3. The Clarendon police recorded 117 murders the previous year, making it the third deadliest among the 19 police divisions. Gangsters were killing their cronies and innocent citizens in brazen daylight attacks. By the end of the first quarter in 2020, police statistics show that 56 more people have been murdered across the central Jamaica parish. Immediately, I began reviewing what was happening, and that was one of the things that jumped out at me when I look at the amount of people who were killed within the 3 months, he stated. Murders were to the point where we had to have several meetings with the divisional commanders, and we put some strategies in place. Another glaring issue, he said, was the absence of any spirituality in the crime-fighting solutions being discussed. Simmet said it was while contemplating the enormity of the task that God spoke to him in September 2020 about convening a midday prayer meeting for the men and women under his command. I was meditating on what I could do differently in the area. I looked at all the strategies we were using and said there has to be another way, he recalled. Then I realized that some spirituality was lacking in this space, and the Holy Spirit just said to me that I have to start a midday prayer. The Reverend Godfrey Watson, another founding member of the prayer group, believes that seeking divine intervention is one of the best moves any law enforcement personnel could make. I believe the message is getting out there, and already we are seeing the impact, Watson stated. Application for importation of chicken back and neck opens April 1. Come April 1, registered entity will be able to make applications under the revised regime of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries for importation of chicken back and chicken neck. In December 2020, the Integrity Commission had recommended that with immediate effect, the ministry should stop the issuance of chicken back and chicken neck import permits under current arrangements. The Commission had criticized the ministry for giving preferential treatment to applicants on the basis of prior importation history and suggested that the integrity of the award process was compromised and hindered competition. Jamaica imports around $25 million worth of chicken back and chicken neck each year. According to the Integrity Commission, of the 116 importers of chicken back and neck during the period 2016 to 2013, the entities Spanish Grain Store, Trans Trading Limited, Mastermark Limited, Triple M Limited, Chris Ryan, Brandloo Imported Limited, and Lina Limited imported 46% of all the chicken neck and chicken back. The damning report by the Commission cited fraud, due to evasion and a permit process that lacked integrity and facilitated corruption. Some importers were also accused of blending in leg quarter among shipment of chicken back and neck to escape combined rates for premier parts that reportedly amount to as much as 240%. Chicken neck and back are lower grade parts that are consumed in huge volume among Jamaica's poorest households. Application should be made through the ministry's online trade portal at www.moatrade.gov.jm. The application period will end on April 8. In an advertisement, the ministry said successful entities will be contacted regarding the allocations granted for these items. Entities can obtain additional information by sending an email to marketing@moa.gov.jm. Jeffrey East to lead CRH Oversight Committee. Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton has named former Senior Medical Officer for the Corner Regional Hospital, CRH, Dr. Jeffrey East, as chairman of the revamped Oversight Committee that will monitor the multi-billion-dollar restoration project for the Western Jamaica's facility. East replaced Professor Archibald McDonald, who resigned as committee chair recently. The majority of the new team is drawn from Western Jamaica on the recommendation from the Montego Bay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which had expressed concerns about the constant change in the scope of the work causing project delays as well as the lack of communication from the authorities. The previous committee comprised primarily persons from outside the parish of St. James. Dr. East is a retired surgeon at CRH, so he is very familiar with the hospital and he is a technical-minded and can therefore give a lot of valuable insights, having worked at the institution for some time, said Tufton. According to the health minister, the East-led committee will not only provide oversight, but will offer advice and feedback to him as minister, who has ultimate responsibility. The committee is also expected to assist in interfacing with the community. Already a town hall is being planned to give a progress report. All around, there are benefits to be had having close proximity to the project with the involvement of locals. And in the West, there are very competent people, clinicians, engineers, architects, so you can bring a lot of the project Tufton to the committee, while in the same breath thanking McDonald for working during his tenure. The reconstructed committee will involve some members of the previous group. While hesitant to commit to a timeline for completion, Tufton said the project was making good progress and he was hopeful that the overhaul would be finished in less than 3 years. He said that Phase 2 was underway and that discussions were taking place concerning procurement for the third and final phase. The intention is to overlap one phase with the other, and through that overlapping, we would therefore shorten the time to try to bring the project to a conclusion as soon as possible, he told journalists during the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding MOU at the Western Regional Health Authority offices in Montego Bay, Freeport last Friday. The terms of reference outlined in the MOU indicated that the committee meets quarterly or as required with the Project Implementation Unit, where updates will be provided on the progress of project. 5 years later, the hospital has been dogged by dysfunction, first linked to its ventilation infrastructure, but further analysis unearthed more widespread defects that have caused many services to be deferred elsewhere and for sections of the multi-story building to be left unoccupied. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.